Hey everyone, I am here. I am joined by my husband. This is his first live ever because he doesn't even have a Facebook account or any type of social media.
It's true.
His name is Steve. And how long have you been working from home? Why do you think he can tell us about this?
I've been working from home for about 12 years now, and we've raised kids up from infancy, and our oldest is now 11, and there are 3 of them. So we've had the opportunity to experience working from home with kids on quite a few occasions.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been talking about working from home, how tricky it is, because it is. Yeah. And now with the coronavirus, a lot of people have been just kind of put home, and they weren't even expecting it.
It has come upon us
it's just
rather swiftly. It's been just wild.
Yeah, and now the kids are home for March break, which we're almost at the end of, for sure, 2 weeks. I think it's going to be all of April, personally.
Some people are even saying until the end of the calendar year, if you can believe that. So
some other provinces.
Other states. So
yeah. So I don't know what that means for us. There's a huge spot for another person right here.
They are welcome.
The kids will come anyway, probably. Anyway, they're home right now. Can you hear them? I'm not sure. Inga, what's up? The struggle is real for you.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so we wanted to talk about tips, how to prepare for this crazy season of working from home. Like I said, he's been doing it for probably 12 years. I have done it since probably for 7 years. I kind of worked into my old job of being able to work some of my hours from home just because it made life easier for us and I wanted to be home for them. So what we are going to talk about are a few quick tips, how to get things ready and moving for the day, how to organize your day, and then we're going to kind of move into the children's section of things. So if you don't have kids, you can cut at that time. Some tips. Okay, first of all, I've been seeing a lot of memes about working from home in your pajamas and like, hey, now I don't have to get up and get ready. I don't have to get my face on. I 100% disagree with that. I think getting up in the morning and doing your regular routine, getting dressed puts your mind, something happens where it's like, okay, it's time to work, like something psychological.
It really does help. And like when it comes to this season, I'm going to be disciplining myself to have a shower every day. I know that sounds really bad, but like in the morning when I wake up, just get in the shower, make it feel like this is a real day. This is like just normal run of the mill. And get up and do the morning routine. Yep. Splash water on the face and eat your toast and drink your coffee and take care of your kids. But definitely keep it as normal as you can.
Yeah, dude, it's just when you stay in your pajamas, when you kind of stay in that mindset of loafing, you're just not working as efficiently as you can. So
it puts you in the headspace.
It puts you in a headspace, yeah. And I totally 100%. Because sometimes even still, I have my office and I love it. But sometimes in the winter, there's a few times where I had no meetings, I had no real reason to get ready, and I was like, I'm going to work from home. And I still got ready for the day, put on jeans, and it just, it makes you ready to go. And I think that's really important. So we're working from home, but we still have to get our work done, everyone.
Yes. And we're working right now. Well, Sherri is.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
All right, the second thing I do, and I've been doing it for probably maybe a year, maybe a little bit more, and I talk about it sometimes here, is I plan the night before. So before, I don't know, it just keeps me really organized. And then at 9 o'clock or whenever I start, I hit the ground running. And that really, really helps me.
And you've kind of been in this mode of, looking at ancient ways of doing life. And in the ancient times, the day started at sundown. So we're kind of looking at the day from sundown to sundown instead of sunrise to sunrise. Mm-hmm. And so as you prepare for the day before you go to sleep, you're thinking, okay, this is what I've got on the go tomorrow, which is actually today. And you roll into things in that regard. Instead of, just kind of hitting the ground running in the morning, you're already mentally preparing for the day that is to come. So it's kind of an ancient approach, but even before all this went down,
I was doing it, and it's just effective. I like it because I kind of look at the whole day. What just happened today? Was I effective? Where did I drop the ball? Things like that. And then
a little reflection.
And then it's a reflection and a plan. That's exactly what it is. And then the next day I have my plan, which kind of leads to the next one. We're not super scheduled. Like, this is going to come across like we're like, and we aren't. If you ask people who know us, they're like, no, not these guys. But
so true. The teachers look at us, they live across the street, and they're like, what do these people do? You can see the wheels turning.
Yeah.
But we get things done.
Yeah, so
right?
we list a work. Yes, you can have a whippet. This is really hard, you guys.
Whippet, good.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
we list our work. Well, I do. Do you?
Can I have a whippet too? Sorry. What's that, sorry?
We list our work.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
we do. Yep. Make a list, and some people would prefer to prioritize that list in advance. Others just they want to make sure that it gets done. But lists definitely help to get things done.
Yeah.
If you're just kind of on a wing and a prayer, hoping that you get done something, it won't happen as effectively anyway. You might get some stuff done, but if you got a list, you can, and even the sense of accomplishment, saying yes, I've got these things ticked off. I've accomplished something.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Good.
I actually, Trevor always says, list your work and work your list. That's his.
List your work and work your list.
So you list it and then you work it. And on the days where I'm more overwhelmed, where I'm like, okay, I have a lot to do in a short amount of time, I list everything, and you can get a ton done. Actually, honestly, yeah, you can get a lot done, and it's awesome. I love it. So.
Yeah.
And then you don't forget anything, because sometimes in the moment you're like, I know I was supposed to do something.
Any listers out there?
I never was a list person. At home, I'm not a list person. I'm not like, I have to clean my bathroom, then I have to have a shower. Like, I don't do it, but for work, I'm a list person.
Yeah.
Another thing that really works is you need to shut your phone off or put it on, do not disturb, or shut your notifications off.
While you're working, right?
While you're working.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is the hardest one. And it's really hard right now. I haven't been doing it, but because all my friends are like working from home, our schedules are so weird. I get a lot of just text messages, Snapchats, little dings all day
Ding, ding.
long.
Vibrate. Yeah.
And when that happens, it's like, it only takes a second for you to lose your focus. So if you're doing something that actually requires focus, there's some things that don't, but some things that do. And that little like look to the side, see who's texting you. It can literally, the experts say, it takes you 15 minutes to get back to like that super focus you were in before that ding happens.
So that's even without all this going on, that's just like a good principle. Shut the phone off when you're in focus mode. Like, it's so easy to get distracted and derailed. Yeah. Right? And it really does help to keep you on point.
Yeah. I actually listened to a podcast, and they were saying that people waste, and these are like high level employees, like CEOs, business owners, and it was a Harvard review, so I'm thinking they were talking to really high level people. They were wasting upwards to 22 hours per week on things that didn't need to be done, distractions such as that, and then just the minutes it takes to get that focus back. And it was eye-opening. I'm like, that's a game changer. Once I started even doing that, like I don't always check my email, and I started working into my client. When I talk to them, I'm like, listen, you can phone, but I might not answer. You can email. I will get back to you within a pretty short amount of time, really. But you can't just, I'm not on demand because I'm doing other things. Because sometimes
that's fair, right? You don't have to be on demand. Like,
exactly.
You can have boundaries. They're healthy. Yeah,
boundaries are fine. And like, because sometimes I'll be working on something and someone will text, hey, I need a poster. And then I'll be like, yeah, you'll have it within a day, like 24 hours usually, or whatever. It depends on what the size of the project and stuff. We have some clients who are like, yeah, I just wanted to text you because I was thinking about it. And then we have sometimes others that are really like, kind of like, no, you drop everything and do it. And I'm like, well, I have other clients, I can't. So the notifications just go off, and now I've kind of like worked it into my, like my clients know that I will get back to you, but just because I didn't answer the text message then, I have like, you got to give me some time. So, and that took a little bit of learning for me.
It's kind of a phenomenon of our age as well. Like everything's just like, it's right there at the fingertips.
Yeah.
So everybody thinks that everything needs to be done right now. It's like, no, you can have boundaries, and especially working in this kind of environment now, you're probably going to have to guard that even more than you have before.
Yeah, I was actually talking to someone who said she had to work, she works at Laurier, she has to work from home now. She's like, now, funny enough, before, when she shut her computer off and went home, it was done. But now that everything's at home, she's like, I actually will sometimes answer emails at 8:30 at night because everything's home. So those boundaries are really important, especially if you have kids. So the last thing I want to talk about is
Could I just say something quick? Yeah. As far as those boundaries, in terms of checking your messages, your emails, or your phone for that matter, some have counseled that, you etch out, say, from 12 till 12:30, or some part of your day that's particularly for that, and then you know that's coming, and then you deal with all those issues at that time, and then it'll give you the opportunity not to have to look at your phone again and again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a few times during the day is like your designated check your email time.
Bingo.
So I don't necessarily do that, but I do now shut off the notification so it doesn't interrupt me when it's happening. Okay. So the next thing that we kind of have written down here is do what you have to do to work right. So this one is killing me too. A lot of people are saying, it's procrastination. If you want to do your dishes, just get down to work. And I can't work. When I work from home, my main area, anywhere that I can see, has to be clean. I cannot have a crowded work environment. It hurts my brain. My office at work is clean. My desk is organized.
She even smells clean.
I do. I have a special smelling thing.
Yeah.
And I need clean to work. So it's not me being like a procrastinator when I put the kids to school and then I can't have to clean up the breakfast stuff.
And then you spend
so I spend half an hour doing it, whatever. It's usually not too bad. I spend half an hour and then I can focus for the rest of the day. But when I don't do it, I look and I'm like, oh man. And
that pot needs to be done, or the plates on the counter, right? They need to be rinsed off and put away. It's just like, it's a headspace thing once again. Yeah. If it bugs you.
It clutters the brain.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it does.
If it bugs you.
Which it does.
Right, which it does you.
If it doesn't, by all means, work. You do you. But all I'm saying is a lot of people on Facebook are really commenting about, oh, if you're trying to like clean your table and fold your blankets and stuff, you just, putting your work off, get down to work, and they're making it to be a bad thing. But I personally can't work in any other way.
Yeah. So if there's any hurdle, any stumbling block that you just need to clear it first, and then get down to business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So those are our tips in general. If you're working at home, it's hard. Hopefully that will help you. Now we're going to talk about the really hard part, and that is working when your kids are home.
Yes.
You've already interrupted us once.
I've got a cookie to prove it right here. I haven't chewed on it yet.
We'll see what happens. All right. So this is what we do. My pro tip is I do my non-brainy work when they're kind of around and they're at the table with us or they're playing their little games, Lego, whatever.
Could you define non-brainy work in your context?
My non-brainy work is if I'm creating graphics, I don't need quiet for that. There's just some things and some answering emails you don't need perfect stillness to complete. Other things I do. Other things I need to really focus and concentrate. But on the stuff I don't, that's when I do it when they're kind of around us. So... yeah. What do you do when they're around?
When they're, I almost need quiet all the time, so I'm really poor at this. Like I just have to go and distance myself and lock myself into a quiet place. Which means I leave to the bedroom, but I'll tend to the children first. Say what do you need, and give them their food. Make sure lunch is taken care of, and then say okay, now I need to work for a while. Let's find a book to read, or let's go play outside, or whatever the case might be, according to wherever the kids are at. But
so we demand quiet time at certain parts of the day.
Like demand, or
we demand.
Okay.
Like it's like you guys have to be quiet for real. So our mandatory, it usually falls into 4 things. So 3 are good parenting. 1 is just surviving.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a mandatory quiet time every day. And usually March break we don't. Usually March break we kind of let them relax. But again, because I think they will not be going back to school for weeks, we're like, you can't.
Let's get this rhythm in place.
There has to be some rhythm to our days, or else this is going to be really difficult.
Hey, there's a good word, rhythm.
Yeah. You know what? My whole life is actually, instead of scheduled, it is more of rhythms. Because schedule is really, really pinpointed and anal to me. But and I'm not that type of person, but it's the rhythms of things, and I often actually talk about rhythms on here. You wouldn't know because you don't follow me.
Get rhythm.
So we do mandatory quiet time. We'll just be like, each of you go to a room, read a book for half an hour or an hour, depends on how annoying they are.
And I know some parents, your kids might not have that kind of focus, but maybe now is a good time to build on that. We could look at this particular season, I think, as a blessing. In a manner of speaking, I know it's terrible what's going on, but in terms of home life, it
is a gift. Yeah.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
So just work with it, and the situations will arise, and you'll just kind of have to navigate through it. But I think it's going to be for the good of the families that are in this situation.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were actually looking forward to.
I was looking forward to it. Yeah. Well, when it was 3 weeks, I was really looking forward to it. Now I'm kind of nervous for it.
Like, if it ends up being to the end of the calendar year or something like that. That's great.
Check in with me then.
Then.
But I like it because actually just on my normal schedule, I come home usually at 3. If you're not home for them, I come home and I usually play with them for 1 hour, 3 to 4, and then I let them have screen times from 4 to 5 while I cook. And that's just kind of a natural rhythm that we've started. I need to stand up. I need that time. And I need to be a little bit active, and it helps my brain a little bit. So that I was kind of looking forward to this. And again, we've been spending a lot of time together. Hopefully the weather gets nicer so we can spend more time hiking, doing isolated things like that, but still be outside. But honestly, we do. So that's fine when we're all together. But when it comes to the demanding of the quiet time, we have conference calls or meetings or things like that. We do this mandatory quiet time. We have homework time where they do homework, and that's been all right. That is like half an hour probably. You just got to take it when you can get it.
Yes, I think that's a real good point. Like, note this carefully. When it happens, then that's on you to like get down to business. And like when the quiet time happens, it's on you to get down to business.
Yeah, sometimes it naturally happens, and you like when the days are nice, like they were just outside for I don't know, half an hour probably, and it's like that's when we have to capture when that happens, then I'm like, okay, now I have to do my smart work where I have to focus because they're gone. Whereas like when they're kind of running around here, it's harder.
Crazy.
Yeah. So but we kick them outside to play too because we try and do 1980 style parenting, and we're like, see ya. When they get too loud, I'm like, see ya. Yeah. So we kick them out a lot.
That's right.
And in the non-rainy day, they can be outside. So dress appropriately. And then lastly, we do use screen time, obviously, because screen time is like
last resort.
It's not a last resort.
I say try to make it your last resort.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I don't think it's good for them to be on for hours.
Yeah.
And it would be peaceful because they would literally just sit there playing their game, but...
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
Yeah. So we're like... we use it. It's usually what they do in the afternoon. So, but those little tips help. Any other thoughts about working from home?
I'm just thinking that this has been good. Thank you all for checking in. If you have
any questions, drop them.
Yeah. Do you have any questions out there? Any thoughts or anything that you do from your home as you work from home?
Yeah.
To share with the world at large.
Yeah, a lot of people work from home. Like we said, we have worked from home for years, and which is why and I think that's why a few people have messaged me. They're just like, what are you doing? Like my kids are like around and they're loud. So it's easier. Again, we've had this part of our life in the summertime, things like that, where we still have to work even though they're home. So they kind of get this rhythm. For you guys, it might be a little harder because it's a new thing. But you have to figure out something because we're off work for another 2.5 weeks. Or not off work, sorry, working from home.
Working from home. That is the point of this conversation, right? All right.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for watching. I'm going to click the finish button. And I think it was good. Any other closing remarks?
I guess I've just been thinking like children are a complete blessing, and the opportunity to be able to share this time with them is something that, just max it out to the full. These moments are really a gift. And who was it that said, "The years are long, the days are short"?
Oh, Matt Chandler.
Was that him?
He's
really, really good call. So just make the most of these strange days, and we're all kind of navigating this together, like really and truly. Like this is uncharted territory. We don't really know what we're talking about. We're applying something that happened prior to the now and hoping that it's going to work. But hopefully the principles will hold water. Yeah. Right.
And I think they will, because they've worked for us. They worked for us when they were babies up until now. It gets easier, obviously. You don't have to check on them and stuff. So
maybe I could just quickly say, as far as if you want to call it a rhythm or whatever, or a schedule, if you've got little infants, right, and ones that are probably between the ages of 1 and 3, max out those nap times, right? When you lay the little ones down to sleep, they creep away. And then get down to business. Yeah. Like that's a key time to be getting down to work. And I tell you, that's a must.
Oh man.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it's those, you have to take advantage of the natural quiet times when they come. So like when it's like when they actually are like going in their room playing all together nicely, I'm like, okay, I better work. I'm not cleaning or anything like that. I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're actually being quiet. I can figure out what I gotta do.
Let's do this.
So yeah, you gotta take advantage of that, whether the babies are older.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. But all right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll come back maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe we'll talk about something else.
All right.
All right. Thanks. You can stay there.
All right. It's really been good chatting with you, and thanks for the privilege of allowing us into your lives. Shalom.